Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Ropes. We're delighted to have you join us. We have obviously all received very sad news of what's happened in the boxing world over the last 24 hours. And we just wanted to touch on, how that story has developed and how it's progressed and provide some facts. So, needless to say, we've all heard that Anthony Joshua was involved in a horrific car accident in Nigeria that claimed the lives of two of his close friends and members of his team. So Latif Ayodele and Sina Qami both passed away following the accident. It's extremely sad incident that's rippled through the boxing community and has also shined a light on how fragile life is and how short it is and fleeting. So we wanted to kind of discuss the things that have emerged from that incident and, how that story's developed. So as far as I'm aware, what actually happened was that the driver was undertaking and trying to get ahead of the vehicle ahead, and in the process crashed into a stationary truck. So this is on a highway in Lagos, and they were heading towards a nearby village to visit some of AJ's relatives. I actually received a message from a friend of mine today to say that particular highway has been redeveloped in the last couple of years. So actually a lot safer than it has been in previous times. But what do you make of, obviously, that in itself before we move on to the other facts that have come out?
Yeah, I mean, first up, it's tragic news, and obviously our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to everybody connected in the incident, in particular the two people that passed away and their families and friends, etc. Obviously, AJ was hurt, although it would appear that he's not suffered any life-threatening injuries or stuff like that. But yeah, it was tragic news. Seismic. When I heard it, I could scarcely believe it. I've seen some of the footage, as we've all done by now. And yeah, especially at this time of year as well, the whole circumstance is just very tragic. And it's funny because I actually received some pretty bad news myself on Christmas Eve when I found out that a cousin of mine who I was close to passed away. So that hit me hard. And then this, you just think, you're forced to, embrace your mortality and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. It's a very, 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 very sad event indeed.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that's definitely come to light from it is obviously, just the sheer lottery of the place where AJ decided to sit that day, because how that accident, well, from the footage that we've all seen and from the things that have developed, it appears that AJ was sat on one side of the vehicle behind the driver, and his two friends were sat one on next to him and the other one next to the driver
behind,
and those are the two that passed.
So they would have taken the impact.
They took the impact, which is just awful. And some of this footage that's circulating as well is it's a bit voyeuristic. It's been really tough. But yeah, I think that one of the things that has stood out a lot is obviously we've seen footage of AJ being taken out of the vehicle, and there's just so many people around him. Lots of people in the mix, and there wasn't the resources and the capabilities to kind of get him out of there the way that you would expect. He was sat upright in the police vehicle being evacuated, but it's because they obviously don't have the capacity for those emergency services to arrive so quickly. From what I've heard and read, he's now been brought back to the UK.
Oh, is he back in
yeah,
the UK?
yeah, that's
Really?
what I've
Wow.
heard. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but that is from my
The fact that he
understanding.
was able to fly suggests that the injuries may not have been too bad.
Yeah.
Because if you're not in a physically condition to fly, then they won't let you fly.
Absolutely. But I mean, that's the physical side, right? Like when the reports came out, they had mentioned, he sustained minor injuries. He looked in a lot of pain.
He did. He was grimacing, and immediately you think to yourself, he's a big, strong guy. And if he's grimacing like that, you think, he must have been in some serious pain.
Definitely.
But lucky to be alive, though.
Oh my goodness, so lucky.
You know what I mean?
So lucky. But, thinking, outside of the physical harm that has befallen him, let's talk a little bit about the emotional impact of this, because, at the end of the day, he was in a car with his two of his closest friends, and they both didn't make it. of course, there's been lots of talk. He just knocked out Jake Paul, a week or so ago. There's been lots of talks about 2026 being a big year for him. They're talking about another run out early 2026, and then the Tyson Fury fight late 2026. How does an event like this impact his emotional welfare, and what does it mean for him in the coming year?
It's a great question, and I wish I could answer that with some real knowledge as to how he's going to cope with it. I mean, so many things there. I think first and foremost, it's almost like a metaphor for life, isn't it? You can be on that proverbial high 1 minute in life, and it's happened to me, and then the very next minute, the depths of despair. So my heart goes out to him, and the mental and the trauma and all that. He's going to be reliving that, because not only did he lose his two friends, he was actually there. He survived that, so there's going to be all the survivor's guilt that comes with that as well. Then there's a processing of how it all happened, reliving it. Going to bed at night, that will be playing through his mind all the time. You don't know how this is going to affect him going forward. I mean, obviously, time does heal. I mean, I've been there. I've suffered personal tragedy very, very close to me, and it takes you a long time to get over it. So I just hope he's going to be all right. I mean, forget about the boxing for 1 minute. Some people are suggesting he may never box again. Some people are saying that he may use this as a way to get over this and maybe try and win a world title and dedicate it to the people that was affected. You just don't know how it's going to play out.
You don't know how it's going to play out. All I will say is this, I think that I've seen a lot of chatter online immediately after, in the immediacy of the accident, about what does this mean for the Tyson Fury fight? Honestly, I don't really care about it.
No, he won't be thinking about that right now.
I know, but on a personal level, I strongly want him to focus on his well-being and his, emotional recovery from this, because I think an incident like that, on a personal level would devastate me, and I don't know how I would respond. And I personally can't see him returning to the ring. At least in 2026, but perhaps beyond as well. And I wouldn't be upset if he actually chose to take a step away and focus on something different. But that's just a personal view. My heart really goes out to him in this.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I've met AJ a couple of times. Obviously, I don't know him, so I'm not going to pretend to know what his thoughts are. What I would say, though, he does appear to be quite an emotional type of person. We've seen that in the past. So it goes without saying that this is going to hit him very hard. I would imagine that boxing will be the absolute last thing on his mind at the moment, because these two guys were involved in his training camps.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's a huge loss, not just as a friend, but professionally as well.
Professionally, yeah.
I do agree with you, Melissa. I'll be very, very surprised if we see him in 2026. We may not see him in the not too distant future. Who knows where this will go? Obviously, first and foremost, I just hope he's all right, because something like this could go left. You know what I mean? It's just a very, very sad situation.
Yeah.
And I just hope and pray that, he finds a way to deal with this the best possible way, because it's not going to be easy at all.
Yeah, I completely concur with that. Yeah, I think let's just, close on saying our thoughts, prayers, warm wishes, and lots of love sent to the families of Latif Ayodele and Sina Kami, and our, wishing AJ a speedy recovery. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next episode.